starting lineups for both teams. At the 3, MKG and Cody Zeller at the 4. Ben Gordon out there with Kemba Walker. And it's Jefferson in at the 5 spot. So that's the lineup for Charlotte. Shot by Zeller, no good.
Tough D on the inside.
Put up a roadblock, construction barrel right there. That's what he brings defensively.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Guys, Jared Jack might have the largest collection of basketball shoes in the league with over 1,500 pairs. He said, I remember when I had a condo in one city and I didn't have many places to put them. So I started putting them in cabinets. You'd go into the kitchen to get a cup and there'd be shoes in there. He says that once his playing days are over, he envisions future endeavors in sneaker design. Guys, he's following his passion.
Interesting. Thanks, Doris. Insanity, the pass to Bennett. Passes it to Insanity. Clock at 6. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Two teams kind of bringing up to the back end of the conference. It's not a matchup the top teams are going to pay much attention to.
Well, even if the high end isn't interested, you can bet these guys are. Two teams trying to build themselves up. You can measure improvement in other ways if you're not making the playoffs.
That's a great point. Charlotte making a switch here. Margot's checked in. Zeller dishes to Walker. There's the feed to Parker. All alone. And that one off the back of the rim and in. Looking at the last game for Charlotte, it was a loss to the Rockets.
I thought overall, Kevin, it was mostly the defensive effort that hurt them. Just no energy, no purpose.
Steve, I thought they were late on their rotations. They didn't really communicate well, and as a result, they paid for it.
And good, count it. Before I forget, guys, what did you think about his comments in the press conference after their last game?
You know, I think he said the right things after that first game. It's a big one because it is your first taste of NBA action, but he seemed to keep it all in perspective. It's just one game and a long line of what will be many.
Well, it's important for young guys like that to mature quickly and to understand how the NBA operates, and the fact that you have to keep an even keel throughout the season or you'll go crazy. So it's good that he seems to understand that right away.
Going into the season, the hopes were high for the Cavs this past year, but the injury bug really derailed them. Injuries to Irving, Thompson, Zeller, and the big one to Varejao really threw them off kilter in terms of having a decent season.
Here's Insanity, guarded by Walker. Bennett kicks to Bynum. Gets it to go. Bynum's got 9. And going back to the injuries for Cleveland last year, Clark was just talking about the Varejao injury was huge as he provided so much for them in the interior. And Irving was in and out of the lineup for a good part.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to 2K Sports.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback. Here's Pargo on the court for Cleveland. Insanity, he's in at the point. C.J. Miles is out there with Bennett. Then it's Tyler Zeller, and it's Jack in at the shooting guard position. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Well, the score has a lot to do with that, Clark. Just based on that, you'd think the rebounding gap would be huge.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
Andrew Bynum's checked in for Cleveland. Here's Kid Gilchrist. Henderson passes to Sessions. Out of bounds, Cleveland takes possession.
And a moment to check out Andrew Bynum here. Last season's performance for him.
A minute 20 left to play here in the third. Irving passes to Insanity. And stolen by Zeller. He dishes it to Kid Gilchrist. It's rebounded by Cleveland. Miles has got his third rebound tonight. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance. You know, it was a rough year last season for the Bobcats, but they didn't do so bad against the East. Didn't finish with more wins than losses or anything, but with 18 wins against the rest of the conference, they weren't at the bottom in that category either.
Henderson kicks to Kid Gilchrist. Really left alone that time. Kid Gilchrist has got 9 points here in the second half.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
There's a minute 47 left to play here in the fourth. Michael Kid Gilchrist out there with Cody Zeller. Then it's Henderson. Then there's Ben Gordon. And it's Sessions in at the point guard. So that's the lineup for Charlotte. Here's Bynum. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. Bynum's got 5 points now this quarter.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Sensational block. Here's Insanity, defended by Zeller. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, for the Bobcats, some tough luck in the lottery the last few seasons. They had the worst record in 12, but they missed out on Anthony Davis. The second worst record last season, but they fell to the 4 pick. They need so much help, but the lottery fortune hasn't gone their way.
Al Jefferson is checked in for Gerald Henderson. And Clark, you mentioned the struggles last year for the Bobcats. Last season, the worst defense, second worst in rebounding, and Steve, the third worst in offense.
They just didn't have enough talent. It's been a long struggle for this team the last few years, and the roster is starting to grow, it's starting to build, but there's still a lot of work to be done in Charlotte.
And it's a completely new group on the floor for the Cavaliers. Insanity, the pass to Karasov. Here's Insanity, defended by Pargo. Here's Insanity, and it's sent back by Henderson. Here's Clark. That's good.
Well, they've done a great job keeping the fans out of the game today, and the closer they get to the win, the quieter it gets.
Yeah, we call that the sweet sounds of silence. They're going to savor this win, as well they should. Every road win carries a little extra reward.
And McRoberts kicks to Pargo. And the layup's good off the glass.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
Here's Insanity, defended by Pargo. And a missed layup. Charlotte's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Outside, Taylor. The dish to Pargo. Fires from deep. And it's Miles with the rebound. Here's Insanity. Gets it to go.
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And, Steve, they did it in style. A beat down the entire way.
And so it's Cleveland taking care of business in this one. How much to be critical of in this win, Clark?
Not at all.